Hi everyone, welcome back to the lab. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves and doing well. Today we will be doing the baking soda and vinegar experiment, also known as the Volcano experiment. So I hope you guys are excited and ready to go. So before we get into the experiment, I'm gonna walk us through what we're gonna learn and what materials we need. For the learning objectives, we're gonna learn about acid-base reactions, decomposition reactions, and standard matter changes. The materials we're going to need today are baking soda, something like this. Make sure it's baking soda and not baking powder. We're gonna need some vinegar. This is vinegar. And then this is my container to hold the reaction in. So something clear so you can see exactly like what is happening when the reaction takes place. And a paper towel just to make sure, if things do get messy, because sometimes they do, you have a napkin, a paper towel to clean everything up. So we're going to need some eye protection. So I'm wearing my glasses, which will serve as the protection, and some gloves. I'm gonna go ahead and put my gloves on. And then for safety precautions, just make sure you're not eating or drinking any of these ingredients. They are household items, yes, but now we're using them for an experiment, so we'll make sure we're not eating them. And also no touching of any of the chemicals. And just make sure you keep your area clean and neat so you can reduce contamination of anything, and that should set you up. Now we're gonna begin the experiment. Okay, so first thing what's going to happen is you're gonna place some of the baking soda into your container. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So take some of the baking soda and just place it into the container. So it doesn't have to be a lot, really. So now you see I have baking soda in the container. You can see that right here. Get a closer view. There you have it. And then you're gonna pour in some of the vinegar. And after I pour this in, you're gonna watch as the reaction takes place. So here's the exciting part. Okay. So pouring in the vinegar now, watch as the reaction takes place. Wow. Oh, there you go. Look at that. And I keep going. More fizzing, more fizzing. Boom. Watch as the reaction is happening. Look at that. How cool is that, guys? We just concluded really our experiment. Look at the fizzling. We can see it looks like when you open a soda bottle and the fizzling comes up to the top. As for the smell, it smells like vinegar. See bubbles. I can't feel if it's hot because of my gloves, but there might be temperature change. So let's see. Yeah, so that was super exciting. So when you're done with observing what happens, to dispose of this, you can just wash this down the sink with lots of water. So you can go ahead and do that, and it'll be set. So what exactly happened in this reaction? Well, I'll explain. So basically, the baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, and the vinegar of the sodium, so the baking soda is the base, which is sodium bicarbonate. And the vinegar is the acid, also known as acetic acid. So when the acid and the base react together, they form carbonic acid. And that carbonic acid is very unstable. It instantly breaks apart into water and carbon dioxide. And that's what creates all the fizzling in the solution. So the fizzling was really the breaking apart into the water and the carbon dioxide, which is what we observed doing this experiment. Now, that was about acid and bases, but there's also a decomposition reaction happening here. Crazy. There's a lot going on in this simple experiment. The carbonic acid form, as a result of the first reaction between the acid and base, immediately began to decompose into water and carbon dioxide gas. So there we see a decomposition reaction happening. And so that was super cool to see. And then explaining more, going into depth more, just like the carbon dioxide bubbles that we saw form, this is similar to what happens in a carbonated drink. When you see the bubbles form at the top, it rises to the top of the mixture. And that's essentially creates the bubbles and the foam when you see in the baking, which is what you saw in the baking soda and the vinegar. All the bubble and fizzling, yeah, there was noise too. And then lastly, the science in this experiment, there was also some physical changes we saw happen. The solid baking soda was placed into liquid vinegar, producing carbon dioxide gas, which is evident because of the formation of bubbles in the foaming mixture. Eventually, all of this solution dissolved, and it dissolved and reacted, and it produced a new liquid solution. So during this reaction, a solid and a liquid have been chemically reacted to form a gas and a liquid. So we can see there's different physical changes happening in this experiment. So this experiment is simple, and it does not take a lot of time to complete. So I hope you guys go ahead and try this at home. Some questions I do have for you guys to explore on your own while completing this experiment are, one, what effect does food coloring have on this experiment, if any? What would happen if you changed the color of the vinegar? Would something super cool happen? Like, tell me about that. Second question is, what would happen if you pour the baking soda into the vinegar? So in the experiment, as you saw, we poured the vinegar into the baking soda, but what happened if you poured the baking soda into the vinegar? What would happen there? And my last question for you guys today is, what effect would heating the vinegar have on this experiment? So this vinegar that I used is at room temperature, but what if it had some heat to it? What effect would that have on the experiment? So go ahead and try this and let me know how it goes, and explore the questions I asked. I hope you guys have fun doing this experiment, and good luck!